Welcome to Malice and Mystery, where shadows whisper and the unknown beckons. Step into a realm of spine-tingling horror, eerie mysteries, and chilling tales. From real-life paranormal encounters to unsolved enigmas and spine-chilling urban legends, we bring you the darkest stories from the shadows. Subscribe if you dare, and remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved. I'm going to rank the most haunted cemeteries in the world. I'll go through some that are so haunted they're been shut down. Some of these places have had paranormal investigators run through them, uncovering evidence of the dead still lingering around. Some of them are home to serial killers. And then there's one that's just completely cursed. This is my list of the top 5 most haunted cemeteries in the world. Number 5. The Danebury Cemetery. There was a time where it was legal for people to profit off of selling burial plots in cemeteries. If you wanted to get rich quick, you could just start a cemetery and sell plots. One man saw this opportunity in London and bought a piece of land that would become the Danebury Cemetery. The catch was the land was already used as an illegal dumping ground for the city's waste. This guy didn't care and went ahead with his plan anyway. He made deals with local doctors to pay him for every person he buried there. Doctors, of course, were burying people who died of cholera and tuberculosis. That's not a good business plan. That place became cursed. Even after being abandoned, it's still considered cursed by some. People who walk across the cemetery say they can hear screams from inside the earth. Some believe the souls of those buried here can never find peace, because they were dumped into a mass grave without ceremony. Others say the waste that sits beneath the graveyard keeps their souls trapped. Number 4. Highgate Cemetery. In 1839, the Highgate Cemetery opened in London. It was a beautiful garden cemetery with ornate statues and architecture. It quickly became popular with the wealthy who wanted elaborate tombs for themselves and their families. The cemetery also became popular with Londoners who liked to take romantic walks among the monuments. But the cemetery was never meant to be a tourist attraction. After 65 years, the cemetery was officially closed. The grounds were overgrown and full of dangerous animals. But despite the danger, people still entered the cemetery at night to party or make out. I guess if you're going to do that, Highgate Cemetery is a great place to choose because it's super haunted. That's why people stopped having parties there. One of the ghosts that haunts this cemetery is Karl Marx. He died in 1883 and is buried in a modest grave near the main gate. Visitors have reported seeing the ghost of Marx walking the grounds at night. Another famous person buried here is the artist William Blake. His grave is in the Egyptian Avenue, and it's said to be haunted by the ghost of a young woman. Some believe she's the ghost of his sister, who died when she was only 25. Others say she may be the ghost of one of Blake's many lovers. Highgate Cemetery is home to many other ghosts, including the ghost of a little girl who died of cholera. Her ghost is said to haunt the old chapel. Then there's the ghost of a man who died in a fire. His ghost is said to appear as a burning torch. None of these ghosts are friendly. They've been known to interact with visitors, moving objects, shaking shoulders, and even interacting with cameras. Number 3. Lorraine Cemetery. A lot of different ghost hunting shows have gone to Lorraine Cemetery, which is in Quebec, Canada. It's almost always the first stop for American paranormal teams heading north. The reason is that Lorraine Cemetery is considered one of the most haunted places in North America. Many different ghosts have been spotted here, including the ghost of a woman in a Victorian nightgown. She's said to walk the grounds at night and interact with visitors. She's also been seen in photos taken at the cemetery. Another ghost that haunts Lorraine Cemetery is the ghost of a little girl. She's said to be the ghost of a girl who died in the 19th century. Her ghost has been seen playing near the old chapel and graveyard. Lorraine Cemetery is also home to the ghost of a man who died in a car accident. His ghost is said to appear as a burning car. Also, here's a crazy story about Lorraine Cemetery. 2 ghost hunters were at the cemetery at night, and they said they heard voices coming from inside one of the crypts. They investigated and found the source of the noise. It was coming from a group of teenagers who were having a party in the crypt. You'd think these ghosts would scare them off, but they kept partying. The ghost hunters confronted the teens and told them to leave. At first, the teens argued with the Ghostbusters. They said they were just having a party and didn't mean any harm. But as soon as they agreed to leave, strange things started happening. Their car wouldn't start and they couldn't get out of the cemetery. Eventually, they were able to escape and they haven't been back since. So don't ever go ghost hunting at Lorraine Cemetery unless you want to meet some ghosts. Number 2. The St. Louis Cemetery, No. 1. St. Louis Cemetery, No. 1 is located in the French Quarter of New Orleans. It was established in 1787 and is the oldest of the city's 6 cemeteries. The cemetery is home to more than 700 above-ground tombs. One of the most famous tombs belongs to Marie Laveau. She was a voodoo priestess who died in 1819. Her tomb is said to be haunted by her ghost and the ghosts of her many victims. Another famous person buried here is Jean Lafitte. He was a privateer who turned pirate. He died in 1823 and his tomb is said to be haunted by his ghost and the ghosts of his crewmates. The St. Louis Cemetery is also home to the ghosts of many ordinary people. They died from yellow fever epidemics of the 1800s. Their ghosts are said to wander the cemetery at night. One of the scariest things about the St. Louis Cemetery is that it's not actually supposed to be there. It was built on top of a Native American burial ground. Some believe this is the reason why the cemetery is so haunted. Number 1. The Glasgow Necropolis. This is the oldest cemetery in Scotland. It dates back to 1832 and is home to over 50,000 dead people. One of the most famous people buried here is the architect Charles Rennie Mackintosh. He designed many of the buildings in Glasgow, including the iconic Glasgow School of Art. Another famous person buried here is the author Walter Scott. He wrote Ivanhoe and many other historical novels. It's considered one of the founders of the historical fiction genre. The Glasgow Necropolis is also home to the graves of many soldiers who died in the Second World War. Some believe that the spirits of these soldiers are still here because they never got a proper burial. Over the years, many ghost hunters have come to the Glasgow Necropolis to try to capture evidence of the paranormal. They've captured all kinds of evidence, including EVPs of voices, apparitions of figures, and even shadow people. The scariest thing is that these ghosts aren't just limited to certain parts of the cemetery. They've been seen all over the place, including on the main path and near the entrance. One story about the Glasgow Necropolis involves a group of teenagers who dared each other to walk through the cemetery at night. They did, and they were never seen again. Some say their bodies were found the next day, but that's not true. Nobody knows what happened to them. It's possible they're still stuck in the cemetery, doomed to wander the paths forever. If you ever visit the Glasgow Necropolis, be careful. You never know what you might encounter. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Did I miss a spooky spot? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale from the shadows. Until next time, stay curious and stay away from the unknown.